My name is Miguel, and I used to be a drug addict when I was 16 years old. And everything started when one of my friends said, "Try this, you like it." And it was vape, and I tried, and I like it. So everything started from that day. So when I realized I was a slave of the vape, you know, after the vape, the weed came in my life, and when I realized that I was stealing my mom's money, my brother's money, my stepdad money, just to buy the weed. So I was so lost. Like when I woke up, like I only had one worry. It was how I'm gonna get weed. So this question was in my mind every single day, like how I'm gonna get weed. So uh, and I had four people in my life. It was three friends and my ex-girlfriend. So God started moving in my life when one of my friends left to live in Dublin. So when he left, I only had three people. Then I would say 2 months later, two of my friends left again, and they went to live in Dublin. And it was me and my ex-girlfriend. So when I met Jesus in my life, when I was 12 years old, I would say I was in my class in Brazil, and one of my friends, like, he used to invite like a lot of people to talk about Jesus. So we used to be sitting in a classroom with, I would say, 8 people, and he was preaching to us in that class. It was when I was 12. So when I came to Ireland, I was 14 years old, and I completely forgot about Jesus. Like, I don't know who was Jesus. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. Nothing. So then I came to Ireland. Then I started using vape, weed, and one day I smoked, and I was in my room, and I just stopped and looked around me. I was like, "What am I doing? I'm killing myself. Like, what am I doing?" So then I decided to run. That is crazy, no? I smoked, then I decided to run like crazy, and I was running. Yeah, I was so tired, and from nowhere, I started crying. Then I said these words: "Jesus, if you are real, save me." Because I tried to stop smoking for myself, like with my strength, and I only stopped for 3 days. So I was trying to stop smoking, but with me I couldn't do anything. So I was running. I started crying so bad. "Jesus, if you're real, save me." From nowhere, I didn't know who was Jesus. Nothing, nothing. So then God started moving in my life. So one day, when God says, "It is today," it is today. So it was on Wednesday. So I went to buy the weed. It was beside my house, and that day, everything was going wrong. Everything. And it was like around 6 p.m. The sunset was setting, and I was like, "Oh, it's getting dark, so I'm gonna buy the weed and I'm gonna relax at home." So I bought the weed, and and everything was going wrong. So when I started to roll it, yeah, it falls in the carpet, and here, like, the carpet, it is hard for you to pick it, like the time things. In my mind, I was like, "I'm not losing anything. I'm not." So I started to pick it one by one from the ground, one by one. Like, it took me too long, but I was like, "I'm not gonna miss this. I'm not gonna. That's my money. I'm not gonna miss it." So yeah, I wrote it, but I didn't have any lighter. My lighter wasn't working. Wasn't working. So that is crazy. So when I found a lighter, I went to smoke like beside my house, like beside my house there's a supermarket. So I used to go there with a perfume on my pocket because I was scared about my mom. Like I was doing all these things, but my mom, like for my mom, I was a good son, you know. But in the background, I was doing all these bad things. So I went there to smoke. I smoked it, and I was going back home. I couldn't feel anything. Like the way that I'm talking to you guys, I was there. So I smoked to feel the feeling, but I couldn't feel anything. So I went home and was like, what's going on? Like I want to feel it. I want to relax in my bed and sleep, because for me to sleep, I had to smoke. For me to feel hungry, for me to eat, I had to smoke. So I was in that situation. I was really bad, and I was 16 years old. If you stop to think about it, only 16 years old. And so then I came back home. Nothing was happening. Nothing. So I'd say 2 hours later, I went to smoke another one, and then guess what happened again? I couldn't feel anything. But there's something happened. When I came back to my room, I just locked the door, and a voice came to my mind from nowhere. The voice was saying, "Your grandmother's prayer came to you." From nowhere, I was like this. I wasn't high. I was nothing. This voice came to my mind, and since that day, I just did a simple prayer. Simple prayer. I said, "Jesus, I don't have anything. I have all my addictions, but I have my heart. I want to change. Do your will in my life." And my life changed everything. Since that day, I don't smoke anymore, but now I'll tell you guys the process. So I had 4 people in my life. 3 of my friends and my ex-girlfriend. So 3 of my friends, they left. So it was me and my girlfriend. When I had this encounter with Jesus, with God, I got my stepdad Bible to read. And every single weekend, my ex-girlfriend, she used to sleep in my house. But when I had that encounter with God, with Jesus, I just wanted to read my Bible. So we used to have sex before we go to bed. But when I had that encounter, I said to her, "You can sleep, you can do your things. I'm gonna read my Bible and I'm gonna pray." And it happened many times that I said to her, like, "Go to bed. I wanna stay here reading my Bible and praying." And every single time she used to wake up, and I was like crying so bad. I was like like this every single time, because I found what I was looking for. I was a sheep that I was looking for happiness in the wrong places, and I found the happiness in Jesus. So I was like, yes, this is what I want. You know, I was in the first love. I was burning for Jesus, and I was like, this is my room. I want to stay here. I want to talk to my Father, because I know that He's in control. I know that He has so many things for me, and I was like that when I met Jesus. So I lost all of my friends, everybody. It was me and Jesus. So many times I was reading my Bible, crying, and my ex-girlfriend, she used to wake up like scared, like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was crying, but I was like, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for, you know. So we broke up, and one of the reasons that I think that we broke up, like, I know I'm not perfect. I did a lot of mistakes, but one of the things was this, because when we are young, I'm only 20, but when you're young, like, what these words tell you is for you to have many girls, for you to have sex, you know. But this, you don't need that. You don't need that. You need Jesus in your life. So when I have that encounter, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna follow this way. And she wasn't this way, and I was going to that way. So I had to make a decision. Should I stay with her, or should I follow Jesus? You know? And I decided. I was like, I'm gonna follow Jesus. But at the same way that I was going to follow Jesus, I was like, I love this person. I don't wanna make her bad, you know. So I made my decision. So we broke up. So we broke up, and after 3 days, I think, I had a dream. So in that dream, I was traveling, and I don't had nowhere to stay. So I called her. I was like, "Oh, I'm traveling. Do you have any place for me to sleep? You know?" And she said, "Yeah, yeah, come, come." So we were watching TV. So here was the TV, and we are here in the sofa watching, and it was two animals in that house. So it was one snake, like massive snake. She was golden and white, you know, was crazy, and she was so big. So this snake was living like a pet in the house, you know. So the snake was there, and it was another animal. I cannot describe it. The animal was really, really ugly. I just cannot have a word to describe it. So these two animals was living in the house like normal, you know, like it was their pet, you know. So I was watching TV, and the second animal uh, walk walked past me, like he walked in front of me. So I was watching TV, and I stopped watching TV, and I was staring at this animal like this. And she said to me, "Oh, don't look at it, don't look at it, just leave it." So then I stopped it. Then I will, then I then I kept watching the TV. So when this happened, the snake came upstairs, and in my mind I said, "There's a snake. She gonna she gonna bite me." So then the snake went upstairs, and the second animals went again. Went after the snake, and yeah, after 5 minutes, the snake like came down so mad. She was trying to beat me. I was like, I was running. Here was the kitchen. I was running like in circles. I was like, no, you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. So then I just get out the house, and I was running. So when I get out the house, I was in a street, and this snake was going, you know. So I had to make decision. That snake was trying to kill me, and now she's leaving. So, but like at this moment, the snake like meant a lot to her. So like that snake had a value to her, and she was leaving, but she was trying to kill me. I had to make a decision, and in my mind it was, I don't want to make her feel bad, but this snake is it's killing me. She wants to kill me. Then I made a wrong decision. I pulled the snake, and again she was trying to get me. I was running, running, running. Then I woke up. I was like, this dream is something, cause it was my first experience. Was like, I don't know what's going on. I need the answer. So then I called my leader, and I explained to her like, oh, what's going on, like all this, and she said to me that this is the spiritual world, and I was like, oh, that is crazy. And so in that dream, God showed me what happened, because when I was smoking, when I was doing all the things, the snake was alright. But when I stopped doing that, she wanted to kill me. You get it? So yeah. So God literally showed me what was going on, you know. But I was sad because it was my first love, and that. So yeah. So I that process that I was going through was the baddest one that I can say, because it was me and Jesus. So I used to say to everybody that I didn't get I didn't get crazy because I used to walk. So like probably if you guys saw me in like uh, midnight, everything was dark. I was wearing a black jacket, black pants, and I was walking, talking, crying, everything loud. I was oh Jesus help me, because this was the painful, because if you guys if you guys imagine that, so if you move to another city that you don't know nobody, it is weird because you don't know nobody. But imagine you living in another country, you don't know nobody, and you don't know their language. So you don't know nobody. I was walking. So yeah, I was going to this process, going to the church on the weekends, and going through this bad process in the weekend. You know, so it was really painful, but it teaches me a lot of things. You know, it shows me how valued is a friend, how valued is one soul. You know, so when I was going through that process, I was sad because I was walking in a. I wasn't sure about what was going on. You know, many times I was in my room crying and saying, "Well, what am I doing? What am I doing? Is the Bible real? Like, am I living a lie?" You know, all this question was in my mind, and I only had like my leaders. I know that I had everybody from the church, but when you were living for the world, you don't have nobody. But when you come to church, you have people to help you. But I was like, no, they're gonna judge me. You know, they're gonna say bad things about me. So I was in a place. I'm here. I'm not gonna tell no one. So I started going to the church, and all my days when I used to smoke, I had a one worry. Like, it was how I'm gonna get weed. And after this, I only had one worry. Like, I just want to go to the church. I just want to see all my friends in church. You know, so so I only had this worry. Like, I can't wait to go to church. So yeah, I started going to the church like really deep. You know, like the church is not four walls, a pastor. You know, like you have a background. You know, like uh, my first time when I went to the church, I thought like, "Oh, the pastor, like he doesn't have any problem. Like, look, he lives a perfect life." But no, everybody has a problem, you know. And I was like, oh, that pastor, like he lives a perfect life, but it's not true. He has many problems. So, so yeah, I started going to the church. I started knowing the church, you know, because if you, I don't want you guys to be a telespectator, a viewer, you know. I don't want you guys to sit there, receive and leave. No, like the church is more than that. It's deeper than that. And I went so deep that when I looked back, I was like, I cannot go back. I only have one way to go. I want to go deep, you know, more deep in Jesus. So, so yeah. Then was going to the church that to connect the groups is that I. So connected group is like it's a place that is a church. Connected group is like is young people that go to a place to learn about the Bible. Do you get it? So yeah, I started going to connect to the church. You know, I was really like, that's what I want. I want this. So I started preaching in the street, preaching, praising. But what I want to tell you guys is, if you're young, don't look for the happiness in the wrong places, because you can drink, you can smoke, you can do whatever you want. But when you put your head on your pillow, only you and God knows what you're thinking. You think that you have friends, but they're not real friends. They're not real. They are friends because you have something to give to them. They're not your friend. So listen. Don't look for the happiness in the wrong places. The real happiness is in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. So Jesus is alive, in the same way that He saved my life from the weed vape. He's the same God that wants to save your life. So my advice is, give your life to Jesus Christ and praise the Lord.